I just wanted to know if you do not have the opportunity to become a president, would you let go of this vision that you have?
Well, for
Is
me,
this the only platform, becoming president, is that the only platform that would you use to share your vision and also help develop Ghana for that matter?
thank you very much. So, this gives me the opportunity to clear everyone's head with this. Being a president is not my ultimate goal. However, I didn't have any choice. But to be a leader, I had to run as a candidate. To be able to contribute to the development of my country, I needed to be a part of national governance. However, if you look at the structures that we're bringing on board, okay, we're talking about industrial regional revolution. So, with or without the presidency, we still have our foot in the development of this country. And it's about wealth building, it's about job creation. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a president to do this, but sometimes it's much easier when it can only be one person that can instake orders from above and everything happens. So, we would not want Ghana's development to be that way. We believe that if we are able to let the private sector partner with the government and not the government turning the private sector to a contractor. Okay, that would change the entire economy. So we are going to create businessmen, we're going to create a lot of visionaries, a lot of economists within. And I want to stay as the person that I am from in within, not the position that has labeled me. So even if I was your president and 4 years' time I'm no more your president, it doesn't mean that my job is over. I'll still continue what I have to do to change society. I am here to add value to society. I'm here to build a nation. I'm here for a legacy. I know many people like riches. I have chased it before. And I know many people like wealth. I have been there before. But one thing that I'm after right now is my destiny. And my destiny, when you chase your destiny, you're chasing legacy. So I'm after the legacy of making this country a better place and creating jobs for everybody, creating wealth for everybody. Please don't follow too much the riches. You might have a bill when you're not here. So let's all work together and make sure that not only the president have to dictate for this country, but also the public and the nation. Thank you.
Nana Kwame Bediako, the new force, ready to change Ghana economy into an industrialized nation. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you very much, Ghana, and thank you, GJA. I would like to say a big thank you to the president, his executive members, for giving me this opportunity to be on a round table with the great voices of Ghana. I am privileged to be here. In August 1949, Osajifo Dr. Nkrumah established the Ghana Journalists Association. Exactly 6 months from now, this noble association will be celebrating its diamond anniversary. 75 years is a lifetime establishment. I would first of all like to congratulate GJA for this longevity of economic governance sustainability of Ghana's media umbrella. Apart from taking the chance to congratulate the board and the executives for the good work done in terms of sustainability, operations, and management, I would also like to officially state that the Abled Foundation that I had, the New Africa Foundation, would be partnering with GJA for the diamond anniversary. This is because I'm proud of Ghana and I'm proud of this media entity that has sustained the voice of this country. I would like to contribute to the success and going forward, the future of GJA. What does GJA stand for? And I know that the executives know about GJA, but I would like to also say this to the media that is here to cover us. It's to promote welfare, safety, and the interests of the media of our country. And since my mentor, Kwame Nkrumah, is the founder of this organization, I would like to say that upon what he would have wished and wanted is what we are all here for, to make sure that the welfare, the safety nets, and the interest of the media of this country is at heart with all of us in support of it. Now, I would like to introduce myself properly to everybody. I go by the name Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Freedom Jacob Caesar. So maybe one of these characters is wearing a mask. The other one is not wearing a mask, but I'm sure you can see me clearly, right? Right. The first thing I would like to address before I even go into my profile is that I want you to understand that I'm not a politician. I do not know anything about politics. However, I'm a leader. And I like to break down the differences between myself and most politicians. See, we've all realized in the past 4 decades of our societal governance, a politician has always had a program. But a leader does not move with a program. A leader moves with a vision. That's what I have. I have a vision. We've realized that our politicians work so hard to be elected for whatever next election that is coming, so they can become a president. But a leader's priority is to build a generation, is to build a nation. These are my core interests. That's what I stand for. These are the things. And I know that most of you have been promised based on political campaign. What I like to say to Ghana, I don't have promises. But one thing I can assure this nation is that I have a purpose that will suit the citizens of this nation. And so I want to say that the agenda of a politician and this leadership might be far apart, but it's also a reason why we all want to move our country forward. And that's a role that I've decided to play. Hence, the reason why the new force was found. And I am the leader for the new force. These are our critical reasons why we have decided to become a part of societal governance. I know that most people have been asking about my policies and what I intend to do in this country. Well, I would like to share some things with the nation today. I know that a lot of media platforms have tried to ask me, and I haven't given as much as I'm supposed to. But please bear with me. I shouldn't give it all. Today I will share some with the nation. And also, I'll share some with the media so the message can go out there, the policies, the agenda, and people should see why the new force is here, apart from the purposes of us wanting to be leaders of the new generation. My first policy is to introduce industrial regional revolution. Now, I say this because I think that from where I sit in the business world that I belong to, I have realized that the only city or region in the country that is fully active and economically viable is Accra. So there are 15 regions that we can build again. For me as a businessman, maybe you can call me Ghana's new CEO, but I see this as a great opportunity that 15 regions are not built. Anybody that can come and put businesses into these 15 regions would first of all create the most jobs ever in this country and create the most entrepreneurs ever in this country and create the best economic stability and prosperity in this country. And so I stand for this, and that reason is why we are introducing the regional industrial revolution. Every region in this country is supposed to have a purpose and supposed to have access to their resources, both human and mineral resources. Now, I'm not saying that the current government or the past government haven't thought of this, but it hasn't been done in a way that we can now stand here and say that we have 15 viable regions that is playing a part of the existing economy. So we want to feed that part of the economy, and that's our number one priority, to make sure that we start this and create jobs and create entrepreneurs and create success. This would help us to achieve the middle income nation that we're trying to build. But from there, I would like to go to the next phase of my policy, which is creating a technology hub in this country. The likes of the Silicon Valleys in America has really helped America in development. It's brought speed to the economy. It's brought speed to their industrialization. It's brought speed to their businesses, to their corporate world, to their development, even within the human development. In fact, speed is a key factor today. If you share a Wi-Fi address with me and it can't be loading anything as fast as it's supposed to, I will simply log off, because everyone is looking for speed. And I'm not doing this only because I think Ghana needs a technology hub, but because I also think that we have the biggest young population and they depend on technology. So if we are going to build our country, we should have these people at heart, and we should think about how we can sustain the young people. It's the only thing they know. They were born into technology. And if we want to build a future for Ghana, we should remember that the future of Ghana would depend on the youth of today, because they're the ones that have the years ahead of them, the decades ahead of them. So it's our second biggest priority to make sure that we create a sustainable platform for technology hub. And some of the things in the technology hub industry is very simple. One of them are data centers. And data centers to make sure that we have the information for all our reserves. The stock of this country, we should have it. The information of the youth, the brightest kid and the smartest kid, we should have all of that information, and also be able to carry our data and information and control it. Besides that, we're still importing mobile phones and laptops from outside. When you have a technology hub, that is over, because everything will be produced in the country. In fact, we'll be able to produce the likes of iPhones and HP laptops in this country. And we will be exporting some of these things from our own country. But we need to, first of all, build that technology hub. It's a platform. It costs. It needs a lot of energy. And we can do it. This technology is being done in different parts of the world. So already the blueprint exists. We just need to do it. I want the new Ghana to wake up about industrializing ourselves and building the things that will take care of the nation. Okay, and not say it in promises, but have a purpose to be able to do so. Now, some of my other policies, since we're talking about technology, we can quickly move to security and stability. The security of this country is very important, and we need to make sure that it's stabilized. A lot of people might be in this country today who are poisoning our waters, who are doing other things. These things are all about creating borders and security, even with technology, to support the entire country system. Now, I know I'm talking about security and stability today, but what would the Industrial Revolution, regional revolution do? It would bring job creation and human development. I think the country is lacking this. Okay, the country might be moving forward if they say we have 75 billion GDP, but everybody in the country, or 90% of us, are poor. We're facing problems and economical crisis. Okay, if we don't create jobs for the average person and move it from the 90% jobless people to at least 50%, our economy will never have a balance. So for us, it's very important that we create these jobs. It's much more easier to create the jobs by creating these platforms in the regions and stopping people from running from every region to the one active region, which is Accra. It is Abuja in Ghana, you know, and then when the people get here also and they can't get jobs, then they move out of Ghana. So we're losing a lot of Ghanaians who are going out of Ghana. And if these people were so bad, do you think Europe, America will be accepting Ghanaians? No, they're very useful. Human resources is very powerful. And that's why I want to invest in the youth of this country, because that resource go a long way. You know, they're huge in population, they're active, they're ready to work, they just need the jobs. We want to be able to do that in job creation and human development. Now, middle income economy. This is happening everywhere. In America, in Europe, in Asia, in China, everywhere that is a successful, well-developed country has a middle-income people living in the country. It doesn't have some rich people trying to help some poor people. You know, there is a middle-class lifestyle that actually holds and sustains the economy of the country. So for us, the ultimate goal is to make sure that we focus, that we reach there with humanity. We have also infrastructure development. And the infrastructure development, of course, there are a lot of things that we need to do in this country. Expansion of railways, which is one of the most important things to me. I don't see why we're in 2024 and the only way of transporting goods in our country is by road. Okay, you can't even put anything on any water, and you can't move containers by railways. So we can move 100 containers from the harbors to go to one place, but every one of these containers is going on a truck and is driving on the road and is polluting us, and it makes us think like we're not thinking to be with the modern world. The modern world are always finding sustainable ways to let the human within the enclosures have a better life. So for us, we're here to create a better life for our people. That's why we have come in as leaders and not politicians, because we don't understand the political principles that is governing this country at this moment, and we haven't seen the most benefits from it. But as the youth and the ones who are coming, I believe that this sustainability is highly demanded. And transportation or logistics is one of the most important things that creates speed in development. I'll give you a very good example. Jeff Bezos, when he created the Amazon, you know, the speed of delivering things to people's houses whilst they wake up in the morning and is already there has opened all sort of doors for people to even produce more goods because they know that the logistics is accessible and is visible. We have to do this in Ghana. And we already have the iron ore. The only thing that we don't have is the industrial platform and the energy to be able to turn the iron ore to steel. And then if we have the steel, I can guarantee you that I will bring all the Chinese not to come and extract our gold, but to come and work for us so they build our railways for us. We will bring all the white people from other parts of the world not to come and sit behind closed doors and cut deals and extract whatever resources that we have, but they will come and work for us. It is time that, you know, we as Africans, we should understand that we have an open continent. Everybody is welcome to Africa, but nobody wants to help build Africa. Everybody is coming to Africa to take something and go. But we should stop it. We should now build our nations within Africa so the youth who are in Africa will start to gain value from their own resources. These resources belong to us. The gold, the oil, the silver, the platinum, the bauxite, it's all for us. They're state property. And since we're citizens, we're entitled to have a part of it. We just don't have to be sitting down and then somebody else will come and take it and they know how to use it best. We start to buy from them again when we already own it. See, it's the reason why I have arrived. Because I thought that someone amongst us from the youth should stand up and bring these ideas out. Should stand up with courage and fight for the youth so they can have a voice. They can be a part of the decision, national decisions. And so we can be a part of our own development. This is what I stand for, a unifier between the government, the public, and the youth. So there is a fair governance for us as a nation. I don't know what you're going to call that, whether a president, a unifier, but I had to choose something. They told me that, yes, you have to be president. Some people are calling me incoming president, this, that, that. Look, I just know that president cannot happen without the press. But if I'm here to do the duties of the president, it's because I feel like Ghana needs development, both social development, human development, and even industrial development. These are gaps that needs to be bridged. And so the interesting part of having these infrastructures fixed, even expanding our roads, it's very important. I can still see single roads. And these single roads, if we can produce our own bitumen, okay, which is petrochemicals, we have a lot of quarries in our country. And these quarries, we can now build roads cheaper than what people are coming from outside to charge us, which is $1 million for a kilometer. Okay, it would take us 100 million to build 100 kilometers, which is a third of going to Kumasi on one side of the road. If we're thinking this way, it's going to take us 2,000 years before we develop our country. But we have the resources here. So we need to refine it ourselves. We need to industrialize it ourselves. So we have access to it next to nothing. The price that we're not going to buy it with premium, with taxes and all of that. Once we do that, it's easier to build all of these roads and do all of these railways that I'm talking about with infrastructure. A country cannot also open up in development with infrastructure. And one of the things that brought America together was when Andrew Carnegie had to build a bridge from Chicago that crossed from Chicago to New York, and it formed the country together. People started trading and crossing. It's called cross-border movement. You know, you can do it internally with your staff. Now, mostly, all of these things that we're talking about is based on a national governance, leadership, the responsibilities of our leaders who are supposed to help us to govern these things, to structure these things, and then give back to the middle class so they have a job and they keep it going. They're promised jobs for the next 20 years, then they're promised mortgages, then they have a life, okay, and taxes and all of that. But I'll come to taxes as well. Now, I would like to talk about media. You know what we would like to do with media? First of all, I want to thank you once again, Mr. President, for this opportunity, for putting me here with all these great executives. And I appreciate your experiences very much. And I know that if I'm not saying something right about media, please don't forget to remind me, okay? Or teach me. Okay, but first of all, we are creating something called the GMF, Ghana Media Fund. I created this from New Africa Foundation. But my interest in knowing that this whole GJA was established for a great welfare, safety and interest of Ghana media made me realize partly I should be responsible to support the agenda of the growth of this entity. And so putting the GMF together was to just make sure that there are certain things within the media industry that we know that it needs to be uplifted and advanced. This can help. And with the help of all people like yourselves who have great experience in decades of doing this, I'm sure this would become very much sustainable. Now, let's start with cross-border media, which I have not seen in Ghana. Okay? When I say cross-border media, I will give you an example. BBC is a cross-border media. So BBC is British Broadcasting Corporation. But he has crossed all the way over the sea, everything, and he's come into Ghana. And everything he says is certified for you. It's a fact. The subject of the matter is that they are not only representing in England, or they are not just in Britain, but they are also everywhere in Africa, almost everywhere in the world. And they respect their news, their headlines, whatever they're doing. I believe that I can help this country to expand themselves to go cross-border, with the Ghana Media Fund, GMF. I believe that these are some of the investments that is going to open the cross-border movements, the gateway for us to be able to now send our media from Ghana to Nigeria. So we start to deal with facts, that Nigerians will start to take our stories, that Kenyans will start to take our stories. I want my country, Ghana, to be the first platform to cross-border and make our media information become acceptable, wanted, used, needed around Africa. Because we need to share our news around ourselves. Europeans are doing it. They are sharing their news. BBC, CNN, they are sharing the news amongst themselves. And the more they do it, the more powerful they become. That's why we are accepting CNN here. That's why we are accepting BBC here. So we really want to help that with the Media Fund. And also, there are some other things that I think the Media Fund can help. Also, some of the things is AI. AI has come to stay. And it would really, really destroy us if we don't set some sort of structures and borders for it not to cross. So the AI that I'm seeing that is being introduced in Ghana is very negative. But we can use the AI in a very positive way for it to change the scale of our media industry. Because the youth, whether you like it or not, they like the new media. So they're definitely going to play with AI. And we have the opportunity to advance it. We have the opportunity to make it better and let it educate our people. I'm also thinking that the monitoring of the positive usage of it would really help. Media plays a vital role in elections and contribute to the national success of a government. So it is your responsibility to make sure that these borders are very much restricted with cyber conditions, regulations that restrict people from going out of their way to do wrong things. I mean, I don't know, you've seen something that they did with me, AI, picked my voice and then used it, and it's like treason. We cannot live like this as a country. And even if someone is somewhere doing that, that person should be arrested. He should be pulled out, because this is not for you to play with, to cause a whole country to be confused. You can create wars with this. The lives of 33 million people should not be joked with somebody sitting behind closed doors and just creating some voice that would, make the whole nation get confused. And I believe that the media restrictions would show Africa how swift and how quick we are with the response of managing such issues. And I count on you with this, Mr. President. I see a lot of opportunities with media, especially when we look at Africa as a whole. And Nigeria, it's our next door neighbors. It's 240 million people. If our news is being accepted by Nigeria, we will become very, very powerful. And if you add Kenya to it, we will become very, very powerful. So let's aim in crossing border with our media platforms. And I said I spent more time with this because I'm here with the media gurus and the president. And I thought that, I should share my plan and my policy with the entire team. I am here. Once you hire me to do the work with you, I'm available. I'm accessible. I'll get it done. It's a vision, and I want to see it become a reality. I know that there's a lot that I've been trying to say, and if I want to go further and further into my policies, you're going to end up saying, give me more. So I will stay here. I would like to sort of end here, but also I brought a letter again.
I think maybe you will have to wait on the letter.
So okay.
This is I was expecting your, when we go to, come to our Ashantis in our memory, they said, you make it brief. So we are not in the crack not to us.
I can't preco. I can't preco. I just say, international Ashanti. So, what you say? Mr. Mufancha, me say, na me can say. So me mistake biana. Someone I'm now correct me. But new force, I can't be.
From this video, there are some few points I would like to highlight based on Nana Kwame Bediako's vision for Ghana and for Africa as a whole. He talks so much about industrialization. He realized he's going for public-private partnership, which is very, very important because when a foreign investor partner with a local investor, they don't only build wealth together, but they empower the locals of that country. Also, when they partner with the government, they both have a role to play in the economy, which is going to go a long way to boost the employment of the nation. In such a way, the people of that country are not left out. Furthermore, he mentioned of the media, that is the need for Africa to have a cross-border media where Africa can be able to tell its own stories and its own narrative based on African perspective and not what is coming from outside the continent of Africa. That is going to go a long way because just imagine somebody from Nigeria listening from a story in Ghana, or somebody from Ghana getting a story in Kenya, or somebody from Kenya getting a story in South Africa. That is coming from an African media with African narrative, African perspective, and African ideology. I believe Whoever controls your information controls you. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos. See you on the next one.